5 stages to level up your video SEO with Dre De Vera. In Search SEO Podcast is brought to you by Rank Ranger, the all-in-one SEO platform that helps scale your business through data and analytics. Hey, it's David. You've started publishing videos on YouTube, but are you truly optimizing your videos for organic reach? Just as you painstakingly optimize every piece of written content that you publish for your website. Video SEO is what I'm going to be discussing today with a man who's always on the lookout for the next great place to devour a delicious ribeye steak, and maybe even a glass of whiskey too. He's a sought-after speaker, online educator, and brand strategist who believes that video is the most genuine and engaging way to grow your audience and personal brand. A warm welcome to the Search SEO Podcast, the producer of Dre TV, the SEO video show, and the head of growth at Twingate, Dre De Vera.
David, my man, how are you doing today?
I'm very good. I saw you smirking in the background about the ribeye steak, but you gave me these intros. You know, I'm going to read them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love ribeye steaks. That's what I actually do. I'm looking for the next place I can devour one. And I love the taste of ribeye steaks and with a little glass of whiskey.
Now, half the audience is salivating. I hope that they come back, though, for everything that you've got to share, because I'm sure you're going to share a lot of value today. I'll just share with the listener that they can find Dre over at dre.tv. But the key question that everyone wants to know the answer to is, how long does it take to do your hair?
Oh, man. This is a question I actually do get quite some time, but you know what? It takes me about less than 5 minutes. I don't know. Maybe that may be long for some people, but a lot of people thought it would take a lot longer. Right? I mean, right out of the shower, all I do is just blow dry it, put something called Boldify. It's kind of the saline solution, and just blow dry it up, and then just pat it down a little bit to get the little round edges, and I'm done.
That was something for the video viewers. If you're an audio listener, of course, you've got to go to rankranger.com and check out the video version of the show and see what we're chatting about there as well. But cool look, certainly. Today, you're going to be sharing the 5 stages to level up your video SEO. So starting off with number 1, pre-publishing.
Yes, of course, pre-publishing. I mean, when you first do any type of optimization, you kind of have to research your topic, right? You got to research the landscape. When we do regular SEO with Google, we look at Google itself. So if you want to do optimization on YouTube, observe the landscape. You can see that, YouTube has different types of algorithms. They have the hashtag algorithm. They have the search algorithm. They have the suggested algorithm. They have all these other people also watch algorithms. So you kind of observe what you can optimize there. And those kind of the key things you should look at. And then when you want to do some research of the content you want to produce, you kind of also, again, look at the landscape. You want to do a search of your certain topic that you actually found, and then see what type of content comes up. Are they how-tos? Are they, vlogs? Are they tutorials? Like different types of topic content, like how you would look at, so say, on Google itself, right? When you go to Google and you kind of say, oh, these are listicles. Okay, maybe, you do a listicle type of post. But yeah, that's kind of like the very first part, kind of the research part when it comes to starting optimizations.
Yeah, I love it, because any great SEO, when you're doing a bit of keyword research, deciding what to write about, will say, okay, have a look at the SERP, see what currently ranks for those kind of terms as well. Is it long pieces, short pieces with lots of images, video answers, snippets? What kind of answers are being produced back for those kind of queries? So do the same kind of thing for YouTube. See the length of the video, see the quality of the video, how they're going about answering it, and perhaps how they're missing out on certain things as well, where you can actually provide more value as well. Superb advice there. So that's number 1, pre-publishing. Brings us up to number 2, establishing expertise.
Establishing expertise is also, it has to just, it all goes back to how you do SEO. Like you want to think of your tactics of how you do SEO for a regular website, but you want to do this for YouTube itself, right? So you want to make sure you have the ranking factors that we all know about, that everyone always talks about, is what? CTR, the average view duration, the social signals, and just kind of like that video interactions, like maybe like rewinding of something like that, right? So these are typical ranking factors on YouTube. So how do you actually optimize for these things, right? Number 1, like say CTR, the thumbnail. You want a thumbnail that can at least stop the user when they're scrolling. You think of the journey of when someone's coming. You want a thumbnail that can stop the user, and whether it's creative and having your keyword on there. As we all know, if you take your thumbnail and Google YouTube can actually read what's in the thumbnail. You throw into Cloud Vision, you can put your keywords in there. No matter what size, Cloud Vision can extract those keywords. So these are some things that you want to make sure you include in your thumbnail. Make sure it's, compelling, colorful, bright, whatever can make sure you can stop that person and grab their attention is a great way. And then another thing is when you what you want to do is when you have your title, again, this is another place you can optimize on YouTube. Your title also has to have your keyword on there, and you have to have a compelling title, like something that like a hook. Like when you have your thumbnail, how can you have that person look at your title? And then once they can look at your title, how can you make them look at your video? And then from your video, how can you make them look at your description? So these are things that you kind of have to optimize. I mean, let's say with your optimizing like your description, right? These are things that you can also include your keywords in there. And what I talked about earlier about hashtags, right? There's a hashtag algorithm. Make sure you include hashtags in your descriptions, because as you notice, when you include a hashtag in your descriptions, they're clickable, and it takes you to this whole new type of search engines of hashtag search engine. And that's one of the things that you should be able to include within your descriptions. Another thing that you should do when you have your video, when you optimize your video, is you have your closed captioning. People say okay, yeah, YouTube actually can do this automatically. There's one thing about that. If you upload your own closed captionings, you get a little icon which stands out. Again, anything that can make you stand out in the SERPs of YouTube, whether it's on the homepage or within the search things, like any little thing that can stick you out like a sore thumb. Use that. So uploading your own closed captionings would be something that you would really want to do as well. I can go on. Even like a timestamp. Yeah. There's so many. Is there anything you want to stop me there?